University. We're going to have a neutral crew that's going to be working this ball game today, all from the Mid-America Conference. Buell Roach, Roger Perrymore, and Sam Licklider. The starting lineups for today: Syracuse, a veteran ball club. They'll be starting 3 seniors. Houston returning 3 starters from that team that made it to the Final Four a year ago. Billy, the matchup's really interesting. Houston definitely has the most size.
Well, they do have the most size. That Drexler going up against Routens is going to really be something to watch. I think Clyde Drexler is one of the great athletes in college basketball. Routens is a great all-around player who loves to pass the ball. That's going to be an interesting combination there today.
Sandifer's off to an excellent start in that guard spot, averaging 20 points a game for the Orangemen. We'll be back now with the opening tip-off in just a moment.
There's a time in life for the young to say, I want something else, a different way. The town's the same, the people too. School is over, needs something to do. The services have it, it'll really show. You'll see new places, you'll really grow in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Challenge, adventure, excitement too, a time to enjoy and see something new. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You'll work hard, feel really free, serving your country for all to see in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Be part of a team, be friends forever. A part of the services you won't forget ever. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. It's a great place to start.
Light up your eyes, unwrap your smiles. Let your arms undo the miles. Bring your heart back home and find that special face. Decorate your time with laughter. Let the hours live ever after.
In the past 40 years, Chevrolet has brought more people home for the holidays than anyone. Have a happy new year, America.
This is our deluxe model. Triple track, 2-storm.
There are certain things you've always wanted, but for some reason you just never got them. Like the Black & Decker Workmate.
So I caught this baby on 50-pound test.
It's not like you can't afford it, but somehow you never got around to getting one.
So she did 3 spades, so I did 3 no trump.
So next time you see a Workmate, instead of just longing for one, why not stop in and get it?
So I
The
doubled.
Workmate Work Center. It's time you got one.
Over the years, us guys in Light Beer from Miller have had a lot of laughs. But this time we'd like to share some personal sentiments. Boo?
Have a very Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and a Happy New Year, too.
Yeah.
And this holiday, may there be bass under all your lily pads.
May all your pockets be full.
Feliz Navidad. Peace.
We wish you everything you always wanted in a Christmas.
And more.
You know, I'm glad they asked me to do this commercial. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
The Carrier Dome in Syracuse, the 5th largest dome stadium. The Syracuse Orangemen, 5-0. They've gone to 12 straight postseason tournaments. Houston coming off of that surprising finish a year ago when they reached the Final Four, only to lose to North Carolina in the semifinals in the Superdome. Syracuse, coached by Jim Boeheim. Jim is a native of Lyons, New York, nearby here. He was a starting guard for the Orangemen, and he played in the backcourt along with Dave Bing, who, of course, is a legendary player for Syracuse. The Houston club, Guy Lewis in his 27th year. This is a club that up front is very strong. But the big question mark coming into this afternoon is whether or not they can get the guard play that they need. They lost both starting guards as well as the backups from last year's club. They have moved Michael Young to a guard spot, but they're still not completely satisfied that they have solved the problem. And as Billy Papper mentioned at the top, they're going to be pressured early in this game. Jim Boeheim said 2 minutes into the game, we'll know whether Houston can handle that pressure. This crowd, we expect around 20,000, is as enthusiastic as you'll ever see. That's Tony Fruin for the starters. Leo Routens, he's the key to this ball club. Their center will be a sophomore from Malvern, New York, Andre Hawkins. In the backcourt, this is Gene Waldron, a junior out of Long Island City, New York. And Sandifer, one of the tri-captains. in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And so the stage is set. The early part of the season, both these clubs will find out just about where they are as far as their progress is concerned. Neither have been tested severely yet. Guy Lewis, who won his 500th game this year, the first game of the year, the 16th coach in the history of college basketball to accomplish that feat. He has his polka dot towel. He has only 3 of them left. They were given to him in 67, 68. He had about 3 dozen of them. And now he's down to his final 3 towels, so they're going to have to come up with a new supply.
And his 24 cups of water, which he starts each game with 24 cups of water. I understand he puts most of them away.
Now Bruin will jump center, even though he's only 6'5", but he has a 42-inch vertical leap. He'll be going up against Larry Mishaw. Mishaw at 6'9".
Routens has his feet in the circle. I guess he realizes what he's doing right now.
They're deploying themselves. First meeting ever between these two clubs. Look at Bruin get up.
The ball was thrown a little bit off center, but he really can get in the air.
This is Routens out of Toronto, Canada. Bruin inside.
And here comes the full court pressure.
Young will have to handle a lot of that. This is Clyde Drexler, outstanding junior forward. To Dickens, to Elijah.
That handles the press, doesn't it?
Oh, Akeem the Dream makes it 2-2. Routens had to change his shot, and he's been fouled.
But it doesn't look like the 45-second clock is going to be too important, because I don't think the guy can get the button down quick enough. Gary, this surprised me. Routens, who is a man you really have to look out for, on both occasions down court was left wide open. I'm surprised at the matchup there.
Mishaw was the man guilty of fouling. Routens will have a pair of shots coming. He's a very fine free throw shooter, hitting 92% coming into this game.
He didn't look good on the jump shot nor on that foul shot. He pulled away from it very quickly.
He's had some problems with an ankle. Syracuse now with a 3-2 lead. Drexler, look at the pressure to Dickens. Dickens, a sophomore from Houston. In fact, 4 of the 5 starters come from Houston.
Nice overplay on the inside by Hawkins.
Out to Dickens. He didn't play that much last year. Played in 14 games. Bruin tries to keep it alive. Mishaw. Routens brings it out. And Young with the steal. Both teams a little cold right now. Akeem, and I believe he walked to the ball. He did.
Watching Akeem play yesterday in practice, he has a tendency, Gary, without having the great hands, to get himself kind of confused when he touches the ball instead of catching it first and then making the play.
He also tries to put the ball down too much. Tries to dribble and gets in real trouble. Here is Bruin. Good block. Akeem with the block. Clyde Drexler. Smooth. Clyde the glide on the move to Mishaw.
That's what I'm talking about. Just the opposite. Mishaw has the great hands inside, caught that ball in traffic, and had the presence of mind to put it up easily.
That shows you how Drexler can handle the ball also. He broke that pressure effectively. Routens. Andre Hawkins.
Routens is a great passer, and I'm surprised at that matchup, which has Mishaw and Routens.
Routens is averaging 7 assists a game, and he had one there. Foul inside. It's going to go on Young of Houston charging.
Down at the other end of the court now. I thought it would be Clyde Drexler on Routens and put Mishaw on Bruin. But it's the other way around, and I think that Routens has a little bit more quickness that Mishaw can handle.
What jumpers you have on each other, and Bruin and Drexler going against each other. This is Waldron, and Waldron has been fouled by Dickens. Waldron has been having some problems with an injury. Dickens picking up the personal foul, his first. Third team foul now against the Houston Cougars.
Guy Lewis has been one of the first guys to go with that second guard being a guy of size. Dickens is a little bit short to play a guy like Waldron. Waldron's got good enough quickness to stay with him. He's got about 2 or 3 inches on him.
They're saying that Waldron shot that ball. They're giving him 2 free throws. I don't think he shot it.
No, not even close.
But he will have a pair of free throws. Waldron from Long Island City, New York. He was a starter last year as a sophomore. In the summertime, he played in the Virgin Islands. He was conducting a basketball clinic over there.
This is a great free throw shooting team in Syracuse, shooting almost 80% as a team, 78.
A good shooting club, shooting so well. In fact, last year they did a good job also from the field, as did Houston.
Here comes Syracuse for the first time back in the zone, 2-3 type zone.
Michael Young is the most sought-after player in the state when he came out of Texas to Drexler.
Fine penetration by Young inside. He has the capability of playing as a swing man, guard forward type, so he can get it inside.
Drexler, his first 2 points. Waldron with Dickens all over him. A reach around, he got a piece of it. But coming up with it the other end, Sandifer, he saves it.
Not a good pass by Olajuwon.
The tempo of this game really torrid. They're moving back and forth. Haven't really gotten underway as far as the organization. A little helter-skelter. Bruin, nice pass. Sandifer. And now every one of the starting 5 for Syracuse has scored in this game. 9-6 Syracuse in the lead.
Shows you the versatility of a Drexler. He's the guy really the key to breaking the press so far.
Young is probably the most underrated player they have on this club. Last time out, he had 22 points in the win against Auburn.
And everybody remembers the game against North Carolina in the semifinals last year where Young only scored 2 points. That might have been one of the real keys that put Houston out of the Final Four.
Now, he was sick during that game. Here's Hawkins. He's been fouled. Olajuwon picking it up.
We're seeing some mismatch situations right here. That one created by Tony Bruin. Now, Hawkins went up there. One of the things that Hawkins does is use his body well, but he, in that case, might have used the right arm to shield off the defender, but got away with it.
That's 14 fouls against Houston, the first on Akeem. 2 points in the game thus far for Andre Hawkins. This man was in foul trouble all last year. He says that he has now played with controlled aggression, trying to stay out of that foul difficulty. 6'8", a sophomore. 11-8, Syracuse.
Well, another factor, Gary, is this crowd. You know, Lexington last week and up here at the Carrier Dome this week, 2 of the great places to play basketball in All-America.
Houston getting ready to make changes in the backcourt. They will substitute in pairs. Demishaw, big, strong inside man. Olajuwon.
Some stuff. Jimmy Boeheim saying they're coming over our backs, but he realizes if Houston's going to get the ball that low, they're real trouble.
He almost stuffed one of the orange men in the basket that time. Reach in by Young. Here he comes. 11-10, a chance now to take the lead. Houston, Drexler trying to do that. Olajuwon. Boy, is he playing with
beautiful pass.
Real pressure inside to Drexler. Olajuwon doesn't look like the same guy, does he?
Beautiful pass inside. It was a great catch by Drexler, but some look by Olajuwon.
What a year difference it's made for this man. Didn't start playing basketball till 79. Olajuwon.
Well, Hawkins setting some great screens.
Round's a little cold in the early going, and Akeem has another rebound. That's 4 already for him. Houston with a 1-point lead. Dickens. Eric Dickens hasn't been scoring all that much, averaging only 3 points a game, and now all of Houston's players have been able to get into the scoring column.
Sandifer's been pretty quiet so far. Young really on him.
Waldron after the steal. Attempt.
You notice how Syracuse has pulled off the press, probably because Drexler did a good job throwing right over the top of it.
That was one of the question marks, whether Houston had the poise outside to handle the pressure. Broken up by Waldron, saved by Mishaw. Here comes Sandifer to Routens.
Routens took his eye off the pass. Now he's down, he's had a lot of physical problems, including the 2 knee operations last year, but he took his eye off the pass on that one.
Not to mention that Routens had back surgery when he was a young kid. A lot of people felt he'd never play again. But he's come back here. His team now trailing by 1 at the 14:39 mark.
We are USA 1. And #1 is taking charge in high-technology transportation. With some of the highest mileage numbers in cars like the diesel Chevette. Taking charge in four-wheel drive with new S10 Blazers and pickups. And the versatile Chevy Citation, Chevrolet, America's sales leader, is taking it to the limit. And now on new 82 models only, get 10.9% financing that can save you hundreds of dollars on financing costs.
When I was looking for a small computer, I went to IBM because they know what a small, big company needs. I wanted data, word processing, and some word data processing. And they showed me a small computer to fit our budget. IBM even had a place to learn how to use it. That impressed me. Us. And my good business sense even impressed my girlfriend, Charlotte.
IBM.
Ooh! Ah!
That's the sound of new improved Sinex. Now a second of ooh, and up to 12 hours of ah. Medicated Vicks vapors penetrate tough congestion instantly with a powerful feeling of relief.
Ooh!
Then new Sinex shrinks swollen nasal membranes even longer, so now you breathe freely for up to 12 hours.
Ah!
New improved Sinex long-acting nasal spray. A second of
ooh.
Even more.
Last week, we were in Lexington, Kentucky, and our Chevrolet player of the game was 6'6" Derek Cord with 26 points and 7 rebounds. He was just outstanding as they defeated Villanova. And near the conclusion of every CBS Sports NCAA basketball game, Billy Packer and I will be selecting the Chevrolet player of the game. And in case we disagree, our producer Rick Sharp will cast the deciding vote. Chevrolet donates $1,000 to be equally shared by the general scholarship funds of both schools to assist students in all academic disciplines. Houston with a 14-13 lead with 14:35 to go in the first half. We have a change in the backcourt, a reach-in foul on Hawkins. We have 2 men in now, Reed Geddes, and also coming in is Derek Giles, and that's the way Guy Lewis wanted to do it, was substitute in pairs.
Right, he took Dinkins out, and he took Olajuwon out, who's having an incredible game so far, just wants to calm him down. He's off to an excellent start. Everybody probably remembers Geddes from the 10 for 10 free throws he made to put his team in the Final Four last year. There's Hawkins on the reach.
Giles, nice save. Off to Young. Young to follow. And he walked to the ball. That's 4 turnovers now against Houston. They are really doing a good job following their own shots. Houston getting the multiple shots thus far.
That's a great rebounding ball club, particularly with the quickness on the offensive end of the court.
They have 5 offensive rebounds already. Tony Bruin out of Astoria, New York. To Routens. Broken up. Nice hands by Drexler. It's off of Syracuse.
He's a great athlete, and that time Houston went to the zone, even with his smaller club on the floor.
Turnovers now 4 each. Man dribbling the ball, Giles, played in junior college last year, Lee Junior College in Baytown, Texas.
Syracuse back to the man-to-man.
Young seemingly always getting inside. Houston now with a 3-point lead. 4 points for Young.
Geddes is out there on Sandifer. Syracuse has got to get Sandifer in the offense. Been awful quiet so far.
He and Routens both have not really found the mark offensively for this club.
It's a 2-3 zone now by Houston. Here's Sandifer.
Sandifer doesn't carry a lot of weight. That's some concern, but the quickness in his shooting ability. 4 points for Sandifer.
Beautiful touch pass by Drexler.
Geddes out of Houston also to Young. Here comes Waldron to Sandifer, and he's 2 for 2. Syracuse takes the lead. Geddes gets it back now. Geddes has really come on. He's a sophomore. Last year, you might recall, in that Mid-East Regional, Midwest Regional, hit 10 straight free throws against BC. Big free throws at that time. And now he started to steady this ball club. Routens.
Boy, it amazes me in the scouting report, as well as Routens has been playing, you wonder why Houston's not guarding him. Not a good pass.
Waldron got it off to Sandifer. Bruin.
He walked.
Hawkins will save it. Sandifer again. 3 in a row.
Presses on.
8 points for Sandifer. Geddes to Drexler. They break the pressure very effectively.
I was looking for Olajuwon to get back in the game, and here he comes parading right in front of us. He can go back in and control something inside. Syracuse now getting their tempo.
Well, you can't run the ball if you can't get off the boards, and Olajuwon had stopped that earlier. Routens misses. Drexler. And he has been fouled by Hawkins. That'll be a second.
That's a costly foul for Syracuse. They need Hawkins to stay in the ball game. He was foul prone last year. They need his bulk and size, and to commit a foul out in the midcourt like that really's got to hurt. There you see Hawkins sticking that knee out, fouling a guy that I think is one of the great athletes in college basketball.
Syracuse now with a 1-point lead.
It's a funny feeling when you're 17, just finished school and times are lean, don't have a job, don't know what to do, never learned a skill, and you want to work too. Well, you know the services have the means to teach someone who's still in his teens. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, they'll take you, train you, show you the way. You'll work hard, get decent pay in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Serving your country's a real good start, helping pay for colleges and services part. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Future in doubt, shed that lead. Join the services and get ahead in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. It's a great place to start.
We are USA 1. Taking charge by unleashing a Chevrolet the competition can't touch. Camaro, flat outselling every other 2+2 sports coupe on the road today. And now Camaro is led by a new standard 5-speed, 5-liter Z28. The hot-selling Chevy Camaro. It still leaves everything but its shadow behind. And now on new 82 models only, get 10.9% financing that can save you hundreds of dollars on financing costs.
Bill Hotshot Stewart hasn't seen his high school teammates for 20 years. Looks like a stroll-light night.
Looks like a stroll-light night. Looks like a stroll-light night. When things are going right, looks like a stroll-light night. Looks like a
Stroll-Light, a great-tasting beer that doesn't fill you up.
Looks like a stroll-light night when good times come along.
Monday.
We're never going to bring this guy down if we don't do it now.
A grocery store holdup puts Cagney and Lacey on the trail of a notorious gun runner.
Hurry!
Monday.
This is the Carrier Dome. Coach Guy Lewis, Syracuse against Houston. NCAA basketball on CBS. The Orangemen lead the Cougars by 1 at the 11:54 mark of the first half. Gary Bender along with Billy Packer. Larry Mishaw. Drexler tries to bottle. A foul spotted inside. It's going to be an Olajuwon.
Coming over the back. Mishaw's having trouble inside. Now we're looking at a guy that's probably going to be the greatest percentage shooter in Houston history. He takes the shot that he wants. Is that little turnaround jumper, doesn't get it. Now watch Olajuwon coming over the back. And there was the foul right as he came over Red Bruin.
Mishaw has shot over 60% from the field the last 2 years, but today he's not hitting. This is Sonny Spira, 23, who's checked in now for Syracuse. Baseline, Routens. Tipped up, beautiful follow that time by Sean Kierans, who just checked in. Kierans, a junior from Inwell, New York.
Routens made that play with an excellent hesitation, and now Syracuse drops back in their 2-3 zone.
Drexler intended for Mishaw. Sandifer out of there, and we have another foul. It's on Olajuwon.
Three, and he's going to have to sit down.
2 costly fouls. He now has 3 for the game.
We're seeing it right there in the picture, but this is a great crowd. Well, I mean, they are really into the ball game. I'm surprised Olajuwon's not going to sit down.
Well, he is, I believe. Young now getting up. They couldn't get him in time, though.
Very costly mistake because he's got 3, and he's got to be careful right now to pick up that 4th.
Last year, they had a record crowd of over 27,000 here. They say the capacity's only 25, but they stuffed them in there. And today, there's a good 20,000 plus on hand. Here's Kierans, who made that basket a while ago. Kierans and Spira were high school teammates in Inwell, New York. Routens out to Spira. He started the last game when Waldron couldn't answer because of a bad ankle. Bruin. Tony Bruin with 4 points. This is the biggest lead. 25-20. Geddes.
Watch Olajuwon. If Houston misses a basket, he's got to be real careful.
Goaltending. Tony Bruin. That's goaltending. That shows you his jumping ability at 6'5".
He's 6'5". He blocks the shot inside, although it was goaltending on Mishaw, who's 6'9". Now watch him come across that lane.
I believe he does have a 42-inch vertical leap.
He get off that ground.
25-22 now in favor of Syracuse.
Guy Lewis was able to get Olajuwon out of there, and there's Drexler's hands again.
That was intended for Sandiford. Young. Out to Geddes. Giles. Eric Giles, a junior from Queens, New York. Back to a one-point lead now for the Orangemen.
That 2-3 zone is really wide open, hitting the ball down the center. Great catch!
Sandiford, Bruin. He goes again, and he's fouled. Gonna go on Mishaw.
Sandiford's catch was incredible on that play. He didn't make the basket. Watch Bruin how quickly he goes up this second time. Not this one now, right now. Watch him bounce up in the air again. Incredible quick leaper. There he goes. While everybody else was trying to figure out where the ball was, Bruin was already 2 feet off the ground.
That's the second foul on Mishaw. Another substitution. 45, Wendell Alexis, a freshman from Middle Village, Queens, New York. Number 45 checking in. There you see him. Alexis and Addison are two freshmen they're very high on. 4 points thus far for Bruin, 3 rebounds, and all of them coming off the offensive board.
Bruin shoots a knuckleball. Now, he's had an awful lot of problems with any kind of range on his jump shot, and you can see, quite possibly on this shot, that he has no rotation on the ball at all.
Syracuse is really helping themselves at the line. They're 7 of 8. Houston has yet to shoot a free throw. This is Addison. Rayfield Addison, the other freshman we were talking about. They feel Addison is going to be a great player someday. He is really a swingman. He can play a forward or a guard spot at 6'7". Now the pressure to Young.
Nice job by Young.
Young off to Geddes. Houston's handled it extremely well. 9:30 to go, first half. 27-24, Syracuse.
They go from a full court zone press back into a half court zone.
Drexler baseline. Rebound. Young. He got it. And a whistle foul underneath. It's going to go on Addison, his first. The basket will count.
That could be, let's see what they're going to call it. After the shot, or as, I guess they're going to say it was part of the shot. It's only going to be a one-shot foul.
Jim Boeheim is asking the same question you were posing.
It's a little late on the whistle, but it's awful loud in here. Jimmy can't understand what they're talking about.
This will give you an idea of what kind of a distraction you have as Giles is at the line. Is that something? Waving wheat or something. And he makes it a three-point play, and it's all even. 27 all, 7 points now for Young.
Key there, Gary, is concentration, because that rim is not moving, and if you keep your eye on the target, you've got a good chance to thread it.
Addison will back out. Addison out of Jersey City. This is Alexis. Waldron. Trying to follow tip was Alexis. Young has it. Giles at the 8:48 mark.
Well, I know why Pat Ewing wears a gray T-shirt under his jersey, but I don't know what the story is on Alexis.
Here's Giles off to Geddes. Geddes loves to shoot from the corner. Nice pass to Mishaw, and he's fouled by Bruin.
Beautiful two-handed pass. Good ball fake looking the other way, and Geddes was able to fire it right inside.
First foul on Bruin. That is the 4th team foul against the Orangemen.
Even with great passers, and we'll see one coming right up here inside of Mishaw, you've got to have big guys that are quick and will move for the ball, which is what Mishaw did.
Mishaw is the strongest player on this team. When he goes inside, it's very difficult to get that ball away from him. He has 5 points. They call him Mr. Mean. Look at the way he has built his body up. He works every summer to try to increase his strength. 28-27, Houston. Waldron. Pressure. Giles almost went backcourt, and Bruin couldn't save it. That was a good defensive effort that time by Giles, who really pinned him up against the line.
Well, Waldron was in a little bit too much of a hurry to get that ball down court, got himself in a bind.
That's 7 turnovers now against Syracuse. Geddes' favorite spot. Boy, he loves to shoot from there.
Line drive, jump shooter.
4 points for Geddes, 30-27. Syracuse now playing the last few minutes with 2 freshmen in there. Cairns, Waldron, this is one of the freshmen, Addison. Excellent shooter. Look at Bruin. Tony Bruin carrying this ball club now. He has 8 points. A 1-point lead for Houston. Young. Waldron.
Alexis got away with a push-off.
Beautiful pass to Bruin. Blocked by Mishaw. A foul, the basket will count.
Kearns got it in there, and Syracuse just beat Houston back down the court. Great hustle by Syracuse. We'll see it right here. There you see 4 players from Houston. Nobody in position to be back defensively. A great play by Mishaw. Now he'll come back in and commit the foul on Kearns, who gets a left-handed tap.
The significance of that foul is that Mishaw has 3 now. So you have Mishaw with 3 and Olajuwon with 3. At the line, Cairns. Cairns has been a catalyst for this club. He was their 6th man a year ago. It's 6'8", coming off the bench, and that'll be offensive interference.
Yep, that's good. That ball was on the rim.
We have a timeout with 7:28 to go, first half. Syracuse in the seesaw affair now has taken a 2-point lead.
Your business machines say a lot about the way you do business. Quick, right. Canon's NP400F delivers 40 letter-sized copies in a minute. Consider it done. Responds with reduction, even enlargement. Keeps you organized with a document feeder and optional sorter. The Canon NP400F system copier. Technology that keeps you going. Call toll-free for information or contact your authorized Canon dealer.
Don't catch them all. Charlie's sure enjoying his retirement. I'm Fran Tarkington, and I want you to know about a new individual retirement account from National Life and Accident. It offers all the tax advantages of an IRA you'd get from a bank or savings institution, plus some big advantages they don't offer, like guaranteeing you and your spouse a retirement income no matter how long you live, or making deposits to your IRA if you're disabled. Do yourself a favor and ask your National Life agent about it.
How do you soften your beard?
Hot water. Very hot water. Hot towels.
Hold it. You guys should use Rise Super Gel. It's a super softener. Super Gel is packed with moisturizers. It actually softens under your skin to set up your beard for a super close shave. And Super Gel has a special lanolin formula to fight irritation. Super Gel softened my beard. Under my skin.
Rise Super Gel softens your beard under your skin.
For a super close shave.
Tomorrow, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers face the New York Jets. The Washington Redskins meet the St. Louis Cardinals, plus other regional action. It all begins with the NFL Today on CBS Sports.
The 6th week of this abbreviated NFL schedule, the upstart Saints. I tell you, Bum Phillips has been rolling against Atlanta. And the Jets, impressive win Monday night against Tampa Bay. Doug Williams and Tampa Bay, that good defense, they will test Richard Todd, 12:30 Eastern. Tomorrow, here on CBS. Drexler inbound now for the Cougars. They trail by 2. There's been 6 lead changes in this game. Michael Young.
Alexis could have come back down to help out there a little bit.
They get us. They handled it so well, the pressure. And Geddes now with 6 points.
A little bit of inexperience by Alexis on defense that time. He stood all the way back, put his team in a hole.
Ryan Williams now has checked in, replacing Mishaw, who had to sit down with 3 fouls. Both he and Olajuwon on the bench now with 3 each.
Sandifer and Routen's back in there.
Addison trying to penetrate. Drexler bats it out. Sandifer. Boy, it's tough to pass inside with Drexler. 34-32, Syracuse.
Actually, Sandifer was open all along there, and he just happened to be at the right place at the right time on the fumble.
6'3", Derek Giles. Sandifer with 10 points in the game. Geddes, boy, he's got the hot hand.
He's got a beautiful release on that shot, even though the shot's a little flat. He really has confidence and keeps that head straight.
Geddes, who played at Memorial High School in Houston. His dad was quite a football player at Texas Tech. Addison missed earlier, but he comes back and gets this one.
It's amazing how freshmen can come in and play at this level of competition and have that kind of confidence in a shot. Good double team.
Geddes trying to go for the steal. Alexis. Giles is hammered. It'll be Waldron with the foul. Now Andre Hawkins will come in. Bruin will come in. And the two freshmen, Alexis and Addison, will check out.
Well, now we'll see exactly the same play defensively. Alexis a little late getting there. He's the back man defensively who's supposed to take care of that pass. On the last time down the court, he was slow coming up. He was on that one also, and of course it created a basket situation for Houston.
Giles, who in high school played against Gene Waldron, both of them being from the New York area. Giles, they feel, has started to settle down. He was very shaky, making that transition from the junior college ranks. However, he had 10 assists and 5 steals in the last game. 36-34. Syracuse, less than 6 minutes left in the first half. Waldron to Sandifer. Bruin couldn't handle it. Here comes Drexler. Look at this.
With that silence the crowd, he is, and I said it before, he is some kind of athlete. Maybe the best in all of college basketball.
The quickness, his feet, and the ability to get down there. Routen's not really on target. Ryan Williams rips it down. Williams is a man you might recall started the second half in that Final Four game. He was a transfer from the junior college ranks in California. Young. That will be off of Houston. Dickens will check back in now for the Cougars. Giles will check out. 5:11 left in this tie ball game. First half of play at halftime. We'll be going to New York. Brent will have some scores, highlights, and we'll have the CBS Coaches Poll.
Good pass.
Routens, I don't know. I got it in there to Sandifer. He's fouled.
Well, Routens is known as one of the best passers in college basketball, and that was one he really threaded in there to Sandifer. He keeps a catalog on the passes that he throws, and what he thinks is one of the keys is, who am I throwing the ball to? Not only does he know how to pass the ball, but he knows what teammate on his club is capable of catching a certain pass. And this guy right here, Sandifer, catches about anything you throw to him.
Well, Jim Boeheim says everybody moves well off the ball because they know Leo will get it to him. At the line with 10 points, Sandifer. There's not a lot of guys that take as much pride in the assist as they do the basket, but Routen certainly fills that bill.
Just about all great passers grew up as kids where they played with older people. Where they couldn't shoot the ball, they had to make the feed. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird are two examples, and Routen fits into that category.
Syracuse by 1. Dickens, who checked in just a moment ago. Baseline, Brian Williams, he's fouled.
Hawkins picks up another.
That's his third. So he's the first man to reach foul difficulty for Syracuse.
I think, Gary, we've got to say something about Andre Hawkins in regard to the mental problem that he has to have on his shoulders in regard to the incident with the Villanova co-ed that, of course, he and Peyton, a teammate last year, got in an awful lot of trouble. That case is still pending, and we saw what happened this week in Chicago
with
Quentin Daly in regard to what pressure that puts on a young man. Hawkins is going to have to sit down.
Hawkins will sit down as Heron's number 55 comes in. 4:50 left, first half. Trying to tie it up now is Brian Williams. Williams from Inglewood, California.
That's an air ball short. That ball went right under the hoop. I think Williams is just so fired up.
You know, thus far, Houston's 2 of 7 from the free throw line. On the other hand, Syracuse is 9 of 11.
But Syracuse is a club that shoots about 80%, and Houston's having a real problem all year long. They're only shooting 56% from the foul line on the year total.
That was was a nice tap by Williams. Off to Drexler. Oh, he dribbled it off his foot.
He was going to try to cross over to the left hand, and it just got away from him.
He's a tremendous person, this Clyde Drexler. Had the opportunity to be with him this summer. He was doing some films for the drug abuse program. Just delightful personality, and what an athlete, as you mentioned. Kieran.
Routon sucked the zone defense right in the corner and pulled 2 men on him and was able to hit the open man.
Aarons has not been shooting well, only 23% for the field, but he's rolling this afternoon. Williams trying to horse it up. Going to go on Routon.
Now here you have a guy like Williams that hadn't been getting much playing time, comes into the game, shows you the depth of both of these squads. This is by far the deepest Syracuse team I've seen. Here goes, push off by Williams, but now he's going to make a nice turn move and gets fouled. A lot of strength.
Routon's committing his first personal. Williams had trouble at the line. Let's see what he can do this time. He'll have 2 shots coming. He's 0 for 2.
Doesn't look like a good free throw shooter at all. Puts a lot of spin on the ball. He only has played 16 minutes all year coming into this game.
Four in a row he's missed. Williams is a great practice player. They say gets a little bit tight in a game, and that's happening here. Geddes is committing a foul.
Now this foul shooting is getting Houston farther and farther in the hole. On the year, they were only coming into this game, Gary, 59 out of 105 attempts. Now you're not going to win a lot of big ball games, particularly when the pressure situation rises in conference play. The Southwest Conference got a lot of good ball clubs again, if you're going to shoot those kind of free throws.
Sandifer is 1 of 2 from the line, 11 points. That's what you're talking about. 4 in a row they've missed, and now they're having trouble. Routon tries to follow. Ryan Williams rips it out. Dickens at the 3:54 mark of the first half. Young from the corner. Ruin up high. Drexler up high. What a battle that was. Sandifer. He walked to the ball.
He walked with the ball because a great hustle by Drexler coming down there to get him.
Well, that's 10 turnovers against Syracuse. Syracuse averaging 85 points a game. They lead at 39-36.
Are taking charge. And now on new 82 models only, get 10.9% financing that can save you hundreds of dollars on financing costs.
When a businessman is waking up in, say, Los Angeles, his main office in New York is already well into its day. And very often there's information the main office would like men such as this to have the moment they come in. Well, now, through a modern computer innovation called telemail, they can send them that information and have them punch it right up the minute they arrive.
Gee.
No, GTE.
Steady Eddie Barnes needs a 8 to make him the best darn dart player in the county. Looks like a strollite night.
Looks like a strollite night. Looks like a strollite night. When things are going right. Looks like a strollite night. Looks like a strollite night.
Strollite, a great tasting beer that doesn't fill you up.
Looks like a strollite night when good times come along.
Syracuse with the lead. We've had 4 ties, 6 lead changes. Coming up at halftime, Brent Musburger in New York will give you an insight on a game being played in the Capitol Center tonight in Landover, Maryland. A dream matchup, they call it, Georgetown against Virginia. Then Billy and I will take a look at the CBS coaches poll. 3.5 minutes to go until half. Geddes to Dickens.
They go back to man, just about change their defense every time there's a timeout.
Drexler. Waldron brings it down. Houston shooting over 54% from the field. Syracuse just about the same. But the free throw percentage is 22 for Houston, 75 for Syracuse. There's Drexler. That's now 11 turnovers against Syracuse. Geddes broke it up nicely. Waldron.
Great quickness by Waldron right there. He anticipated what play was going to be made. Very difficult to throw the ball over the top of either of these clubs because of the quickness and the good athletes inside.
Dickens.
Drexler dives for that ball.
And he saved it out to his teammate, and Houston has another opportunity to cut it to 1.
Syracuse goes back to the zone. They just stayed in the man-to-man one time down the floor.
Houston playing without Mishaw and Olajuwon, who had 3 fouls each. Geddes. Ryan Williams, he did push up. Vanderbilt now at the 2:30 mark.
And, of course, the 45-second clock will stay on the entire half. It does not stop like it does at the end of the ball game.
The last 5 minutes of the game. Steal attempt by Dickens. Bruin. Basket will count, and he's been fouled.
Great power by Bruin inside. Man had the hand on the ball and could not stop it. We'll see it right here. Tried for the steal in the backcourt. Now watch Bruin. He's going to have the ball caught, but he showed great power. I don't think it should have been a foul. He was on the top of the ball, and the hand is part of the ball when you've got it in that situation, but Bruin really showed some strength inside.
They say he's improved his shooting range, but all his shots today have been right inside. He's powered in. He has 11 points, 4 offensive rebounds. Now it's 42-36 Syracuse.
Big possession for Houston right here. They've got to get off a decent shot.
Guy just checked in as David Rose to Geddes. Young. And he walked with the ball.
Excellent defense by Syracuse. It's kind of interesting. I watched Rose practice before the game. He was shooting from 35 feet, hitting everything. He comes in the game, gets the wide open shot, and doesn't take it.
I remember last week, Villanova kind of let the game get away from them for the end of the first half. Right now, Houston in that same problem. Cairns to Bruin. Young will come out of there with it. 1:37 left.
The big difference, Gary, was with the clock, there's not much you can do because you can't settle yourself down and slow the game down. Last week, Villanova had a chance without the clock to do that.
Young, Williams can't get it to go. They do this time. I think it's Drexler that will get credit for it.
Drexler will get the basket. Jimmy Boeheim felt it was in the cylinder. It was awful close.
Drexler with 10 points. Ryan Williams has missed 2 easy shots inside. That time they were able to follow. 4-point lead now for the Orange men.
Just trying to cut that defense apart with a pass. Tough pass to make.
That was Geddes, but we're going to have a traveling call on David Rose.
Routens tried to make a pass that just wasn't there that time, Gary.
Boy, he really goes inside with it, though. He is not afraid to try to penetrate with his pass. There he is, Toronto, Canada. They have another Toronto player on this ball club. Trying to do a good job recruiting up north, about 80 miles away to the Canadian border here from Syracuse. Nice pass, but Young anticipated it.
It's not there. Syracuse was penetrating with the dribble before. Now they're trying to go through with that pass, and it's just not there.
Houston now can cut it to 2 with 40 seconds left in the first half, and Bruin commits a foul. That's his second.
Jimmy Boeheim just said to Bruin, Red, what are you doing? Because he left his zone position completely. There's Jimmy Boeheim. Got to be exasperated with that play.
And so Geddes will go to the line. This is the man they call the zone buster. His ability to shoot outside. He has 8 points, hitting 4 of 5 from the field.
Well, as we pointed out, he made for the Midwest Championship last year 10 in a row.
He hasn't forgotten how. Houston for the game now has hit 3 of 10.
Well, they haven't had Geddes on the line.
That's the difference. After 7 misses in a row, Geddes comes in and hits 2 in a row. 2-point game.
Right, 35 seconds to go, so the clock not a factor here. They should hold it for the last shot.
Tried to go inside. It was kicked by Houston.
Can't believe Syracuse is trying to do this. They need to get 1 shot. They got 23 seconds. That way you know you go in at halftime with nothing worse than a 2-point lead. They shouldn't give Houston a chance. Who's back there in the zone. They ought to pull the ball back out.
You see the time left on your screen.
And if you pull the ball back out, it's up to Houston to come out and get it because Syracuse has the lead.
They're starting to make their move. It was kicked again. Well, inbounds it again with 5 seconds.
I try to get Sandifer open in some kind of a screen here. He has a hot hand. And if you're Houston, you better know where Sandifer is against that zone.
Syracuse with a 2-point lead. Waldron, Mountains. And that's the way this half is going to end. A 2-point difference. Syracuse, yes sir, with a 5-0 record. Houston unbeaten in 5 games. But the score, Syracuse 42, Houston 40. NCAA basketball will continue after this word from your local station.
And Mishaw had to sit down, and they're not going to start this second half. Yeah, Mishaw is, but Olajuwon won't.
The reason they sat down, both of them had 3 fouls. Andre Hawkins has 3 for Syracuse. He starts the second half. Geddes, who did not start the game, is in now.
Now Hawkins with 3 is going to be in trouble right here against Mishaw because he can't afford the foul, and a real wise move by Houston to get it inside.
Mishaw has tied it up. That's 7 points now for Mishaw. 42 all.
Hawkins will be no match with him because Hawkins counts on moving people around with his body. If he does that, he's going to sit down. Here's a 1-3-1 full court press by Houston.
They have David Rose in the backcourt along with Geddes. Bruin, Tony Bruin, he has 13 points. 44-42, Syracuse.
Bruin did a smart thing because Mishaw with 3 fouls couldn't attack him defensively.
This is Drexler. He tries to save it and does to David Rose. Rose is 25 years old. He was on a missionary journey for the Mormon Church.
Houston was loafing on that play. They had their back to the ball, didn't know where the offense was. Very alert play by Syracuse.
Sandifer coming up for the basket. He has 13. Geddes, Mishaw, good catch, good basket. Both teams starting out very effectively, all even.
Surprised at Syracuse starting off in his man-to-man.
Rose putting the pressure on Waldron. They start the game with Dickens and Young in the backcourt. A foul. Going to go on Drexler. Hits his second.
What's happening, Gary? Both teams are attacking so quickly, and they ought to point out, everybody worried about the 45-second clock. We'll see it right here. Both teams are attacking before the defense really gets prepared to establish itself. In the first half, Houston averaged 9.7 seconds of possession, and Syracuse 9.3, so the clock was never a factor.
They're going to play to the 10-second shot clock.
That's right. I think 20 seconds was the longest that any team had possession of the ball.
That was the first free throw Bruin has missed. He's 3 of 4, now 3 of 5. In that first half, they were 10 of 14. Now not starting off the second half very effectively. 46 all.
Syracuse still in the man-to-man.
Young, look at Rose go up. David Rose brings it out to Geddes.
David Rose may be the best Mormon player in America, not playing for Brigham Young.
Mary follows his own shot, and he's fouled, and he is playing with a vengeance right now. David Rose, a surprise starter, a senior out at Northbrook High School in Houston.
Goes inside, pulls up. If he hadn't pulled up for that jumper, he'd have been walking. He fouls his own shot, does a nice job.
You know, he played at Dixie Junior College, which is in St. George, Utah. And now coming to the University of Houston after going on the mission. 25 years old. And that gives the Cougars a lead. 3 points in the game for Rose.
Isn't that crazy? Syracuse misses free throws to start the second half. Houston makes theirs and turns the score right around.
2-point lead now for the Cougars. Both teams unbeaten. Houston ranked 8th in our CBS coaches poll. Routon is fouled by Rose.
No, I think it's going to be Drexler with the knee.
Yes, it is, and that's 3 on him.
2 quick ones in this half.
So that's now the 3rd man for Houston to have 3 fouls. We mentioned Olajuwon earlier and Mishaw, and now Drexler joins that group.
Here we see it right here. Now Routon looks, then makes his move. Drexler uses the leg to try to tie him up.
And at the live action, Sandifer hits one from outside. 15 points, all even again. Sandifer really has the excellent touch. Out of Ann Arbor, Michigan, Huron High School. Drexler. Throwing high. Look out. Drexler comes back. He double-dribbled the ball.
You see him come back on that ball. He took 3 steps going in the other direction and sensed the ball was coming and turned on a dime.
Addison now will check in for Syracuse. Sandifer will check out. 17:41 left. The attendance today, 19,430. Syracuse having 3 more turnovers thus far.
Good pressure by Rose.
Waldron off to Kierans, who's checked in. Sean Kierans, who really played well in that first half for him. Now we have a traveling call on the Orangemen. That's 15 of them. Guy Lewis, boy, he's been to battle many times. 504 wins. He wanted to get that 500th win last year in the Final Four, but he had to wait till this season.
Now you've got Syracuse without a point guard in the ball game. It's going to be interesting.
Kierans comes up with it, but he loses to Misha. Drexler, we've had this ball game 8 times.
He tried to throw the lob pass. He tried to throw the lob pass to Young and made it.
Well, you think things are going right for Houston right now. 50-48, Cougars. Kierans trying to tie it up. Look at Addison. That's a freshman.
He tried to tap that with his right hand and just stayed in the air and caught it with his left.
Athletic ability just oozing out here now. Elijah Watt getting ready to come in now for Houston. Young. Oh, David Rose has really given him a lift.
Both teams are getting excellent play from the bench.
Rose with 6 points.
Now here you have Syracuse. They've got Sandifer playing point guard now.
Tony Bruin, he'll back out with it. 16.5 minutes left. Routens, look at his passing. To Addison again. Remember him, Rayfield Addison. He comes from Jersey City. He was a top 50 of a high school prospect. They love his potential. Drexler. He just seems to hang up there.
That's his range. When he gets beyond that 15 feet with that jump shot, he really isn't that accurate.
12 points for Drexler. Houston by 2. Steal, Misha. Off of Misha.
Let's see how they call it. Good call. Good call.
Here comes the big guy, Akeem the Dream.
Now what Guy Lewis is trying to do is to alternate so he doesn't get Misha and Olajuwon in foul trouble at the same time.
A break in the action. 15:51 to play.
You can protect everything but your ego, because they know how it hurts. They'll go for it again.
The best never comes easy. That's why there's nothing else like it. Budweiser Light.
Bring out your best. You gotta reach deep inside. Bring out your best. Budweiser Light. Bring out your best. Budweiser Light.
The best. You found it in yourself, and now you've found it in the beer you drink.
Hey, Sheriff, you hear about Big A Auto Parts? Yeah, Big A's saying they always had the part, and that's suspicious.
When you check out Big A, you'll find every Big A Auto Parts store has an incredible system that keeps up with all the parts they sell. And replacements are delivered every day, so they'll always have the part you need when you need it.
And you?
Well, Sheriff, I see you finally found something crooked.
Big A Auto Parts. We've got it.
Tonight on CBS, it's Walt Disney featuring Winnie the Pooh and Tiger 2. And then Dallas star Patrick Duffy stars in the CBS Saturday night movie Cry for the Strangers. A night of great entertainment tonight on CBS.
Here was Drexler going to throw the lob, and he sees his teammate Young coming all the way from the opposite side. Throws it up to the basket, and it goes in. Now, that could have been called offensive goaltending, because the ball was in the cylinder when it was touched, but it went in the basket and counted 2 for Drexler.
There's an interesting statistic.
Here you go. Zone defense now by Houston with Olajuwon back in the game.
Kearns, baseline Bruin.
Beautiful dish by Kearns.
Almost stolen that time by Sandiford to Akeem. Olajuwon waits on help. Has time of the ball game. Geddes. Rebound. Kearns broken up. Look at the hustle by David Rose. 54 all.
Everybody's wondered about Houston's guards. They're getting plenty of them that can play today.
That's going to be a foul on David Rose on the back of Tony Bruin. You know, you saw just a moment ago, Billy, on the screen, that Houston had 16 points off of turnovers, Syracuse 6. Shows you how quickly they've made the transition. Syracuse all knotted up. 15-10 left. Rose has played this entire second half to Addison, who has 4 points in the second half.
That was a good catch because he saw Olajuwon coming right at him.
Olajuwon playing with 3 fouls. Michon, Drexler likewise. Addison to Bruin. Rounds. That's the 8th lead change of this game.
That was beautiful teamwork. What's the call? What's the call?
Going to be on Drexler.
That's his 4th. That was a smart play by Sandiford. You do not have to give a dribbler 1 step. And Sandiford got over here, and listen to this crowd.
Guy Lewis gets a timeout. 14:42 to go. Syracuse now leads it by 2.
Sat down with mom, talked to dad. Can't get it together, makes you feel sad. You know you can do it, you wonder where. You want it soon because you really care. The services can help you so you not only get better, you really grow. Talking Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You'll work hard, they'll make you a man. Responsibility is part of the plan in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Prove you can make it. Prove it to all. Serving your country and walking tall in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You've got it together. They'll see in a glance. Thanks to the services, you got the chance in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. It's a great place to start.
No son of mine should have nicks and cuts on his face. So I gave him a Norelco. Protects that gorgeous mug of his. And gives him a good clean shave, smooth and close as a blade. I like the Norelco because it protects my little Jerry Cooney.
And I like the Norelco because it makes me look like a real gentleman.
Isn't he a knockout?
Norelco Rotatract. Tough on your beard, not on your face.
Some things speak for themselves.
We have a 2-point game. Syracuse by 2. They have possession of the ball. Drexler just committed his 4th foul. He will stay in the game. Olajuwon is in there now with 3. Not in there is Michon. Here's Roughton.
And Syracuse picks up full court pressure. Doing a great job with the press right now.
David Rose to Geddes. Young. Oh, nice shot by Michael Young. That cuts it back to 2. Young with 11 points.
Thought for a second Young was going to throw the lob to Olajuwon.
Another CBS game. Iowa leading 44-35 over USC.
Game's a lot closer than I thought it would be, Gary.
USC losing a key player, and Iowa is really moving. Rounds again. He's hit 2 in a row. Tipped out to him. What a pass. He's got it.
Well, Kearns got it back to him on a fumble.
9 points for Roughton. 60-56. Young with Kearns back. Nice play. Young's hit 2 tough shots back-to-back on the break.
And they should have called a foul, I think, on it also because Kearns rode him out of bounds with that one.
13 points now for Young. Tony Bruin will take Olajuwon.
Why did Olajuwon go for the fake and let Bruin go baseline?
17 points now for Bruin. David Rose changed hands, and he's fouled by Kieran. David Rose, for a man you haven't heard much about, has come in here and really contributed. He's only averaged a little over 2 points a game.
Here's Houston throwing the ball cross court. Rose gets it, and he's going to take it to the basket. The Kearns comes in, tries to get the block. Now on Young, he tried to go for just holding his position, and there he goes for the block and commits the foul.
Thus far, he's 2 of 2 from the line, 6 points, all of them coming this half. 62-59, 13-12 left. First time these two clubs have ever met.
Rose came into the year, only 3 for 7 from the foul line, but he looks like a pretty good shooter.
We're going to have to give him some more playing time. Stolen by Geddes. Geddes at 6'7" to Drexler. Look at that change in the shot, but he couldn't drop it. Here comes Addison. Broughton, beautiful pass. Houston at the other end. Rose. Boy, he just keeps coming at him. 2-point game. What a dandy this is.
Super basketball game. Oh, now, we're going to see if they call a foul on Rose or a travel. They got Rose for the push.
Sandefur moved his pivot foot, but the foul against Rose, his second.
Gary, we want to say something about the surface that they're playing on here, which is a tartan surface, which has a tendency every once in a while to get a little slippery, but it's an extremely hard surface. And I would think up in this part of the country, where you come into a gymnasium, it's usually very cold, and then you have to play on this hard a surface. It'd be awful tough on the legs.
They just leave the surface down. When they play football, they put the artificial surface over it. They can seat 50,000 here in the Carrier Dome for football.
And there's that zone of Houston. They're getting aggressive play out of Rose and Geddes. Now, they haven't played a lot of ball. You'd think they'd start getting a little tired right about now.
Rose playing the entire second half. 64-62. The Orangemen.
Sand on it. Count on it from that distance.
Outstanding offensive performance by Sandefur. 19 points.
Now, let's see if Houston tries to get the ball to Michaud a little bit.
That's going to be a foul on Sandefur. He doesn't believe it. And neither's the crowd, I might add.
Well, this is a great basketball crowd. I remember 2 years ago, the Big East final up here, when we'll see the foul coming up right now in the backcourt area. There's Sandefur down. He had part of the ball. Might have got a little bit of the arm. Tough call, but that was one of the great days of basketball. That triple overtimer, Villanova going up against the Syracuse club that eventually didn't go to the NCAA that year.
As the first foul on Sandefur. Geddes to Rose. Young, that's a long ways out, but he hit it anyway. 2-point game again. 15 points for Young. Broughton. He just seems to throw the ball all over. Great peripheral vision. Addison misses. Bruin. He's going to be fouled by Young.
That was a smart play by Young, just going up and trying to go right over the top of Bruin, kind of like an impediment right here. He wasn't trying to block the shot as much as he was just going to go up and make sure that Bruin didn't get anything. Now watch it. Now you'll see Young go right up. There he is. Hold on to the glass board. He didn't even try for the block.
Second foul on Young. Drexler had to lay off in there because he had 4 fouls. He backed out, and then Young tried to bat it away. 2 shots coming for Tony Bruin.
Syracuse uses that bounce pass beautifully inside.
They say that Bruin has made the most improvement on this ball club. He played on the Big East All-Star team that toured Angola. He now has 19 points, 8 rebounds, 6 of them offensively. 4-point lead now for Syracuse.
And they're back in their 2-3 zone. Let's see Michaud. There he is.
He's not hitting those shots inside. That will be off of the Orangeman. Geddes, nice pass that time.
And that is Michaud's shot. He wants it in there, but he just hadn't been able to get him to drop today.
And Rose goes out. What a job as Giles replaces him. David Rose has been the big surprise as he sits down alongside Guy Lewis. 68-64. Syracuse leading Houston. Neither team has lost this year. Drexler. He's going to follow. Rebound, Welton. Tipped by Drexler.
Routon's doing a nice, quiet job on the board.
Sandifer broken up by Drexler. He got a hand on it again. Now broken up at the other end. Bruin. Points now for Tony Bruin. He ignites the crowd. Young, long ways. Drexler playing with 4 fouls.
That was an incredible play. You know, what we're seeing is such quickness out here in the court that guys are trying to put that ball down, not realizing men behind them.
Cairns at the end.
There was another case. Quickness coming from the backside. Houston going to sleep a little bit defensively.
72-66 Syracuse.
But Nishaw wants the ball.
Young has been shooting from a long ways out. He's hit 1 of 2 in the last couple of minutes.
Nishaw's open, but they're not getting that ball.
Young going to try another one. Good block out, but Drexler got it. Cairns had blocked off the boards, and Drexler snuck in.
Pace of this game has been really something.
72-68. Cairns overshoots everything, and fouling is Young. No, it's going to be on Addison. Correction.
I don't know, Gary. I think your call was more accurate than the official that time, because Young was going right over Addison's back. You tell me this kind of game can be worked by 2 officials. You're crazy the way they're playing all over this court. Boeheim a little bit upset. Now let's see it. Beautiful pass. I was surprised Kearns took the shot. I think that foul should have been called the other way.
And it was Addison, baseline Young, and it's a 2-point game.
Look for a timeout on this possession right here.
They were down by 6, and all of a sudden 2. Young was 17 points. Bruin. Tony Bruin with 23. Back to a 4-point lead now for the Orange.
And remember, they'll be turning the clock off at the 5-minute mark.
Really hasn't even been a factor. This game hasn't slowed down yet. Geddes. Young on the baseline. He stepped out of bounds.
I think Houston could use a little time out here to settle things down, because this possession is going to be extremely critical.
15 turnovers now against the Cougars. Less than 9 minutes to go in the game. Oh, we've really had some good games thus far, haven't we?
Oh, great games. Shows you what that NCAA tournament's going to be like. Everybody talking about voting tonight. If you don't vote in the NCAA, you have to play for that championship.
Baseline.
Gary, that's what you call a great touch pass. It's a touch pass made by a guy that really anticipated where his teammates were. That is beautiful basketball.
That kind of looked like Larry Bird there, didn't
That's
it?
exactly who he tries to talk like, and they talk about him in the same breath. Of course, a lot of things Bird can do that Routens can't.
Good camera work that time. Fishman picking it up and showing the passing ability. They say he may be the best forward to come into this college ranks passing-wise, and there is Mishaw traveling with it.
Houston needs a timeout. The game's kind of getting away from them right here. They're losing their composure.
Guy Lewis pleading his case. A 6-point lead again. They had it a moment ago and had it whittled to 2.
They've been able to do it without a point guard in the game.
And Addison can't hang on to that.
To be quite honest with you, Addison should have been where the ball was passed. He should have been breaking a little bit more.
Well, he's a freshman, probably hasn't played that much with Routens yet. That will start to come together. 8:08 left. Drexler to Giles. Mishaw, they're just not getting the ball into it.
No, and he's open.
There he is. Oh, he's fouled. That'll be Cairns with a foul.
Mishaw has been open inside that zone. Here we'll see the pass going to go cross court. Mishaw gets excellent position inside. He's got it. You know, Gary, he hasn't gotten that ball to drop for him at all inside today. And give a lot of credit to Syracuse for being right up there with their hands.
Well, in all fairness to him, he's had some back trouble. He hurt it in that Auburn game. Now, I don't know if that's affecting him or not, but he has 9 points, only 1 rebound. Boy, they have come on a lot better in the free throw line. Look at the distraction again, though, behind that glass backboard.
Eshaw entered this game only shooting 12 for 22 from the foul line, which is just 54%. And as I said, as a team coming in, they're only shooting 56%.
He missed 2 big ones, but Drexler gets rebound, and he gets it anyway. That could be a big basket in this game. 76-72. They didn't want to go down by 8. They're now down by 4. Mountains just seems to see the whole floor, doesn't he, as he sets out there. That time he didn't see the right side. There's Bruin, and he's got it. Sandifer. That's a tough turnover for Houston.
Isn't Sandifer something how he goes to the open spaces, never even works hard for the shot.
All the way from Ann Arbor, Michigan, he's come here to play. One of the 3 tri-captains. 78-72.
Eshaw wants that ball again.
Eshaw working hard into it. Nice catch, and he's fouled.
I think this is what Houston ought to do the rest of the way. He's getting open inside the seams of the zone.
See who it's on. It's either Cairns or Routens. It's going to be Cairns.
Now watch Eshaw. He goes to the seams of the zone. He finds a nice open hole, gets good position, and then he knows what to do with it when he's inside.
It is Cairns, his 3rd personal.
Now wait, they're going to call that not a shooting foul?
That's exactly what it is. They're going to inbounds it, but right now we have a timeout. 7:04 left here at the Carrier Dome. Syracuse leads it. CBS's coverage of NCAA basketball will continue after this word from your local station.
This is CBS.
We'll resume our coverage of NCAA basketball December 28th as Louisville and Lancaster Gordon, along with Rodney McCray, will take on the UCLA Bruins. Darren Day taking it inside, and watch Kenny Field. 11:30 Eastern. Mark it down. The 28th from Holly Pavilion in Los Angeles. And this is the issue that's still very much up for grabs here in the Carrier Dome. 78-72. 7:04 left to go in this game. Houston with the ball. Couldn't control it. We're going to have a foul.
There was a situation. Who's it going to be called on, Young? There was a set play where Young started at the top of the key to get a lob dunk on an out-of-bounds play.
Well, that's 4 on Young. Olajuwon, he looked like he might be guilty for a moment. He already has 3. Drexler's playing with 4, so Drexler and Young both have 4 each.
Well, I think it's a good idea to get Olajuwon back in the game now because, as we mentioned, the clock is going to go off in 2 more minutes, and therefore you're probably going to have to chase Syracuse. So if you're going to have Olajuwon in the game, have him in when he doesn't have to chase.
24 points for Tony Bruin, 6 of 6 from the line. This half, Houston shooting 63%, Syracuse 85. Olajuwon still a little unsure of himself at times.
He just needs more playing time. He's only started playing basketball in 1979, so a lot of it is kind of foreign to him.
Young from the corner. Elijah Watt just couldn't get up high enough for it. Sandifer walked to the ball.
Yes, he did. He tried to make a play before he made the catch.
21 turnovers against Syracuse.
Those fundamental mistakes right there.
Jim Boeheim will not stand for that. He was quite a basketball player. He and Dave Bing in that backcourt.
Yeah, Jimmy Boeheim was a walk-on at Syracuse and eventually became a major star.
Geddes misses. Drexler, it's off of Routens. Houston will get a new life. 79-72. Routens and the Orangemen trying to win their sixth against no setbacks. Baseline, Drexler changed his shot.
There's a highlight shot if there's ever been one.
Gonna have a highlight package just centered around him.
You know what he did this morning? He played Pac-Man. He's one of the leading Pac-Man players anywhere in the country. Broke the record there this morning in the game.
Here's Addison. Intercepted by Giles and Watson.
Took his eye off it.
Bruin. Boy, they passed it. Kieran's at 13 points. 81-74. That's 2 times Houston's had the ball out, only to have it intercepted.
That's right. They're losing their concentration.
Geddes to
Got to put the shot up. The zone's backed in.
Followed by Young. I don't think it's going to count. He is fouled out if that is against him. That's it. 5 fouls on Young.
Boy, that's a big turnaround there. He loses the 2 points he'd have had on the tap-in. And he's also going to foul out of the game and go in the other direction. Geddes, who had been a dead eye in the first half, just can't quite get it. And there was Young pushing over the back.
Now we have a correction. We have been told he has only 4 personal fouls.
Now let's look at that clock also, Gary, because the next possession down, the clock's going to go off.
Routens now makes it 82-74. 5:40 left in the game.
Syracuse is packing their zone back in a little deeper now. Giles is going to have to put it up.
Here's Young playing with 4.
Boy, Routens is doing a good job on the board.
Twice now he's had inside position.
The clock is now off.
Addison. Basket is going to count. No, it's been waved off. Routens committing the foul.
Well, I don't know why Routens raised his hand unless he was pointed to, because Jimmy Boeheim would like him to stay in the game. Counted on Kearns. Addison probably shouldn't have taken that shot, Gary. The clock is now off. Therefore, you've got an opportunity to use that ball a little bit more. Now, he puts it up right away. Of course, he's been doing well all game. Can't take it away from him. And here we'll see, going over the back is Routens.
That's his second. Young at the line. A 1-and-1. 18 points for Young. 83-75. Waldron now will check back in for Syracuse. Addison will come out.
That's right. That's an excellent substitution by Jimmy Boeheim. Get some experience in the game. Addison's going to be a great, great player, but he needs to be sitting right next to Boeheim right now.
Young now on the tail end of a 1-and-1. They missed another one.
And there's Routens again with an excellent blockout.
Houston now 9 of 19 for the game for the free throw line.
Now Houston, sensing that Syracuse is going to sit on the ball a little bit, comes out in a 1-3-1 trap.
5 minutes left in the game.
Kearns is wide open under the basket. Little delay game coming up.
Treating they wanted Waldron in. He handles it so well. Now we have a timeout called by Syracuse. They'll have 4 timeouts remaining with 4:47 left in this game. Syracuse 83, Houston 75.
It seems this is the year many car makers are rediscovering the thrill of performance. It's also the 55th straight year BMW hasn't had to. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
some things speak for themselves.
John Houseman for the investment firm of Smith Barney.
Old-fashioned Smith Barney. Not something out of Dickens, no green eye shades and long ledgers here. Today, computers do the paperwork, the old-fashioned part. The real work of creating a sound investment program is still done up here.
To Dallas, they'll be playing against St. Louis. That's all tomorrow beginning at 12:30 Eastern.
Gary, a little credence has to be given to the Big East. Hey, this is supposed to be the 4th best team in the Big East is Syracuse.
Well, they voted him the sleeper, and they're not a sleeper anymore. That's going to be off of Houston.
Yep, Olajuwon moved his hands, but not his feet.
Mountains will inbounds. 4:45 left. 83-75 Syracuse.
And Houston going out trapping their man-to-man now. They're going to have to really play hard to get back in this one, particularly with the great passers.
He didn't even look that time when he threw it, and coming up with his Olajuwon. After Dickens is checked in. Drexler. Oh, Olajuwon. Drexler, okay, he hit the deck after that drive inside.
Well, he just creates a play in there, doesn't it? Great hustle by Olajuwon.
6 points for the 7-footer. 83-77.
It's still a zone press.
Bruins. Oh, blocked it.
What a block. Oh, he liked it too. That was some block.
He had 8 against Auburn in their last game Wednesday night.
Hey, this puts this game back down here awful tight.
David Rose is back in. Rebound Drexler. Big shot.
He's not only a great athlete, he's a great person.
22 points and 12 rebounds for him. 83-79.
I sense Syracuse getting a little tentative.
Bruin against Olajuwon.
When's the last time you saw a lob to a 6'5" guy over a 7-foot man?
Bruin with 26 points.
I'm surprised Syracuse is doing things like that because they've got the lead and the clock has been turned off. That was a dangerous play.
They don't have a lot of time. They got to get this ball inside and do something with it. Olajuwon had it blocked momentarily. Drexler batted away off of Syracuse.
Olajuwon did get fouled on that play. It wasn't called.
There was a case of Olajuwon again trying to dribble the basketball, putting it down.
There's Rose wide open for the jump shot. He doesn't see him.
There he is. He called it. Now it's back to a 4-point game.
Syracuse got to be a little bit more protective of the ball.
12 points for Rose, and that's going to be a foul on David Rose.
There's a lot of time in this ball game, and Syracuse is not using the clock at all. With such great passers inside, they don't have to take the gamble on making the great play. Just wait until they have the solid feet inside.
Before this guy's career is over, he should be second only to Dave Bing on the all-time scoring list here at Syracuse. 21 points for today, and you saw the average he's had thus far through 5.
Remember that sensational game Sandifer had in the NIT final against Tulsa?
29 points.
Only a sophomore at that time. He quietly puts those points on the board.
Olajuwon brings it down with 3 minutes to go in the game. 5-point lead, Syracuse.
A lot of time. Syracuse staying in the zone. Lewis was questioned whether he had any guards. He's got 3 of them out there.
A push-off inside. It's on Bruin.
Yep. Good call by the official. Excellent call.
Olajuwon's really come to life the last 4 or 5 minutes of both ends of the floor.
Well, you know, he started the game with a lot of enthusiasm. Now we're going to see Drexler on the inside. Watch Tony Bruin push him across the lane right there. Gave him a little shove off, knocked him out of position.
Drexler at the line. 2:46 left. 1-1. .23 points for Drexler. Jim Boeheim realizes this game very, very long ways away from being decided.
Well, I really think his team needs to hang on to the ball a little bit.
Drexler with 24 points. 3-point game. 86-83.
Houston with the 3 guards out there now.
Time of 2:39 left. The trap out in the backcourt.
Nice job by Waldron.
That's at the feet of Drexler, and they have a chance to cut it to 1, this time down the floor.
Why are they going in there, Gary? I don't understand it. They have the lead and the ball. They should make Houston chase them.
Oh, Drexler can't hang on.
A good pass.
18 turnovers against the Cougars. Timeout, Syracuse.
Good call. Good call.
2:11 left in this game. A 3-point lead for the Orangemen of Syracuse, who regroup.
Well, moms and dads the world around give their kids the same old sound. Got to go to school, be a big success. They wouldn't settle for anything less. Now they've learned whatever you seek, you'll help yourself to reach your peak in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Need a trade? Looking for a skill? They have hundreds to fit the bill in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Want more school? Don't have the bread. They'll help pay to get you ahead. Talking Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Mom and dad, they'll want to shout. He's made it big. There's no doubt. Thanks, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. It's a great place to start.
This Bud's for all the guys who keep the action from getting out of hand.
This Bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Some special Christmas gifts from Radio Shack.
I needed help finding my husband's gifts, so I went to Radio Shack's Christmas electronic sale. I got him their Nova 5 two-way hi-fi speakers at half price, just $39.95 each. A realistic 40-channel CB, only $77, and a deluxe 4-key memory calculator, only $11.95. You know, Radio Shack's helpful salespeople made it easy to find his gifts.
A super Christmas electronics sale, only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
We approach 2 minutes left in this game. A 3-point lead for Syracuse. Gary Bender, Billy Packer, NCAA basketball on CBS. Syracuse asked for a timeout. They threw the ball away.
What happened there is Houston didn't guard the man throwing the ball inbounds. Therefore, they had a double team set up. And again, Drexler, with his great quickness, feet turns to the ball.
Houston can cut it to 1. Geddes, in and out, tipped up. Garrett's taken away by Drexler.
Drexler is such an athlete. We've said it so many times today.
26 points for Drexler. A 1-point game.
Now it all of a sudden becomes a different story. Syracuse now has to be concerned about where they're trying to score.
Bruin threw it away. Elijah Wan, and then he gets it back.
Again, Elijah Wan a little bit uncertain of himself, had a chance to keep the steal.
What a great effort by Bruin, though, to just get the ball back.
He's some athlete, too. He got it again.
Dickens bats it away, but they're saying it's off of Syracuse. I think he missed that one.
Yeah, Dickens did a great job catching up to Bruin, who had the dribble. Obviously, you can't just run away from it. This has been just a great basketball game. Here's Bruin going. Now watch Dickens. He reaches in there and messes up Tony Bruin's dribble.
You're right, Bruin. They were right on top of it. It was off of Bruin. He hit it with his knee after Dickens had hit it.
Now Nishaw getting ready to come back in the game.
Now Houston with a chance to take the lead. 1:10 left.
No, they're down.
Oh, I'm sorry, 88-85. Here's Elijah Wan. Foul. Here, Elijah Wan has it again. Out it comes to Giles. Drexler again. Bruin has the rebound. 88-85, 50 seconds to go.
Houston needs Fishaw in the game on the offensive end a little bit.
In the backcourt, Rose hits the deck. He gets up. Sandifer over Elijah Wan. Drexler there again. 36 seconds. You see the time left and a steal by Sandifer.
Why, Waldron? Why would he throw that pass? It doesn't make any sense.
There's a foul on Geddes.
Oh, the fans loving it. They've been treated to a great game, and they've been an outstanding crowd here today. This would be a You know, the old Manly Fieldhouse, and it wasn't so old. I mean, it's a nice facility. It was a tough place to play. But, boy, this is also a very, very tough place to play.
Houston trailing 88-85. They ask for a timeout. 24 seconds left.
Ooh. Ah.
That's the sound of new improved Sinex. Now a second of ooh, and up to 12 hours of ah. Medicated Vicks vapors penetrate tough congestion instantly with a powerful feeling of relief.
Ooh.
Then new Sinex shrinks swollen nasal membranes even longer. So now you breathe freely for up to 12 hours.
Ah.
New improved Sinex long-acting nasal spray. A second of ooh. Even more.
Will Daddy like it?
Your Daddy loves Old Spice.
Why?
That's what makes Daddy smell so special.
I love the smell of my daddy.
You put the ribbon on.
This Christmas, people all over America are giving the men in their lives the classic scent of Old Spice, the clean, fresh, masculine scent so many women love.
I love the smell of Daddy.
And so does Mommy.
For a Christmas gift he'll really love, give him the classic scent of Old Spice.
And here's your room guarantee. And only Holiday Inn gives you this no excuses guarantee. Everything in your room will be right, or we'll make it right. No excuses. Or that night you stay free. Enjoy your stay.
Thank you.
You don't get this guarantee from any other hotel chain. Not any one of them. And this guarantee comes from every one of us at Holiday Inn to you, because we want to take care of you. We give you a guarantee, not excuses.
88-85. Routens will go to the line. He's 3 of 4 thus far. He has 13 points, but 10 assists. Ty Lewis talking things over with his bench. Routens. Now Young, Michael Young will check in for the Cougars.
You know, Gary, you watch a game like this, and then last week we had Kentucky-Villanova. You wonder how many great teams are there in the United States. That NCAA tournament gets better and better every year, and it's going to be out of sight this time.
Remember, Syracuse not even ranked. 90-85.
Good job by Waldron to stop the progress of the ball coming up court.
Drexler, a foul. It'll go on Kieran's.
Well, that could have been a very important three-pointer.
That's 4 fouls on Kieran's with 15 seconds left.
Drexler knifed in there on that one. You don't want to commit a foul. You got a 5-point lead. Under no circumstances, you let the guy have the layup.
Drexler with 26 points. 27. Earlier this year, he had 27 points against Lamar University, so that ties his high for the year. We'll keep it here with 15 seconds. 90-86. We welcome the viewers of that USC-Iowa game here to the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. As Iowa winning that ball game, 66-55. Our game here, you see the time left. It's been a very, very intense game. Syracuse leading it 90-86. We'll be coming back with Drexler with another free throw coming. We've had 10 ties in this game, 8 lead changes. I'm Gary Bender along with Billy Packer. And Billy, you said it a while ago before the viewers from USC Iowa joined us. It's just remarkable how many good teams we have in the country this year. Houston coming in here ranked 8th. Syracuse unranked, but they may do something about that.
And Syracuse, a club that's ranked 4th in their own league on a preseason basis. And they have an outstanding basketball team, as does Houston. Drexler, who's going to the line 35 times. He's been double figures of rebounding and scoring throughout his career. And this guy, who's listed at 6'6", was 2nd in his league last year in rebounding. The #1 guy was LaSalle Thompson, who everybody knows was the first-round draft choice. So what an athlete we're seeing in Drexler.
Drexler will go to the line with 27 points, 10 rebounds. A high point man in this game has been Bruin for Syracuse. Drexler for Houston.
Now, Houston is going to have to foul immediately because there's only 15 seconds to go. They ought to commit a foul as soon as that ball gets inbounds.
A three-point game.
They're letting that clock go on them. Mistake, they got a foul. There it is, but too late. And they put Waldron on the line, and they wasted 7 seconds on the clock.
They're going to give him a two-shot foul.
Well, I think that's a good call, too, by the official. But there's a case, Gary. You're down 3. And you've got to go ahead and stop that clock immediately because they've got to make 4. They've got to make 2 baskets to get the 4 points to go ahead and take that lead. So they needed 2 possessions. They should have fouled immediately.
Now Syracuse will drop all the players back as Waldron will go to the line. He has 4 points. He has not scored this half.
And obviously, if you're Syracuse, under no circumstances do you foul anybody.
They're starting their celebration. Syracuse picked as a sleeper in the Big East Conference. They're not a sleeper anymore. They're going to upset 8th-ranked Houston. Young. Garrett to the rebound. This place is going to run. Of Syracuse are unbeaten. They're 6-0. Houston has lost their first of the year.
Ooh. Ah.
That's the sound of new improved Sinex. Now a second of ooh and up to 12 hours of ah. Medicated Vicks vapors penetrate tough congestion instantly with a powerful feeling of relief.
Ooh.
Then new Sinex shrinks swollen nasal membranes even longer. So now you breathe freely for up to 12 hours.
Ah.
New improved Sinex long-acting nasal spray. A second of
ooh.
Even more.
Will Daddy like it?
Your daddy loves Old Spice.
Wow.